St. Kitts and Nevis is the longest running program in the Caribbean. Most people also consider it as the first country that launched a modern citizenship by investment program in 1984. And this pioneer status gives them a special appeal to the program, and a special status, I would say. In terms of the visa-free access, it has some of the best visa-free access that you can get in the Caribbean, along with Antigua and Barbuda. And it is a really strong passport. The perception is good if you are planning on doing business under that passport, opening companies, bank accounts, doing business under that passport. Also, I would say the country has some of the best infrastructure, same as Antigua and Barbuda. We actually did a CitizenX on-site in Nevis, in the island of Nevis. We were also in St. Kitts for some time, so we can pull some of that footage over here. But basically, the infrastructure is really good roads. And when we were in Nevis, it was great. It's full of nature. It's a small island with a volcano. So it's a really interesting place to spend time, especially if you are planning on moving there for more than 183 days a year, setting up your tax residency there. It's a great option, I would say. And then when it comes to the investment routes, it's really simple. You have either a donation or a public contribution that you can make, and then you have a real estate investment option. St. Kitts used to have an accelerated application process where you could streamline and basically pay more for your application to be processed faster, but that is no longer an option. So right now, the processing times are quite on par with the ones in the Caribbean region. It's not the 3 to 4 months that are being promised, but the reality is that it's taking longer. But also, I would say that if you are really looking to get a second strong passport, something that you can use to travel, to do business under, St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the best options in the Caribbean. In terms of cost, after the last price increase, the minimum donation is $250,000. That is some of the most expensive option in the Caribbean, but also you are getting probably one of the best passports there. At that cost, that minimum donation, taking also into account government fees and other related fees, you might also start considering other programs, like, for example, golden visas in Europe, the Portuguese program, that are already at $500,000. But if you are getting into that $250,000 donation plus government fees, depending on how fast you want to acquire the second citizenship or diversify your passport portfolio, you might also start looking at another regions. The visa-free access with a St. Kitts and Nevis passport is probably the strongest you can get in the Caribbean, along with Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua gives you access to some destinations like South Africa, like Russia, that St. Kitts doesn't. But in terms of number of destinations, they are equally strong. That's what passport indexes take into account. So they are equally strong. And then something really interesting about St. Kitts and Nevis is that you can pass citizenship to future generations unrestrictedly. So that means that all your bloodline will get St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship. You have to pay a fee to pass the citizenship down to future generations, to basically include them within your economic citizenship. But that's really the only difference that your citizenship will have with regular citizenship, as well as voting rights. In Antigua and Barbuda, you cannot pass your citizenship down to further generations, only up to your grandchildren. So this is something to take into account, as in other places in the Caribbean, like St. Kitts and Nevis, you can pass it unrestrictedly. In Antigua and Barbuda, you can only pass it up to your grandchildren. So if having citizenship as a generational asset is something that you value, you might also consider this in the country where you are getting citizenship. So for St. Kitts, they were the pioneers in the industry, and it's a really important industry. You could say that it's half of their GDP. Half of the GDP of the country is tourism. The other half is citizenship by investment. And other countries followed, and they replicated the model. And I think that this is something to value, that they were pioneers in basically creating this category, this way of financing a small country through citizenship. Basically, it is something out of the Sovereign Individual book, where countries can basically sell citizenship rights, and that is something that is an asset that they can sell. And I think St. Kitts and Nevis has to be recognized for that. And I think that is also part of the history of the country, and it will probably be important in the future as well.